You don't need a cake mix to make a perfect fluffy vanilla white cake, because the ingredients you need to make one from scratch are so common, most people already have them in their pantry. Plus, this is an easy one bowl recipe that tastes so much better than any mix. First, we have to prepare two 8-inch cake pans, and to do that, just take a nub of butter and generously grease the sides. If you're going to be lining the bottoms with parchment paper, you only need a little bit on the bottoms, but if you don't have any parchment, go a little heavier with the butter, and I would even dust them with flour too. However, I strongly recommend using parchment on the bottoms because that's going to be the surest way your cakes will come out cleanly and in one piece. Next, you'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's make the cake batter. Take a sifter and set it on top of a big piece of parchment paper, and in there I'm going to measure 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That would be 300 grams. To that, I'm also going to add a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Now basically what we've done here is made our own cake flour. If you have cake flour handy, just omit the all-purpose flour and cornstarch and use 2 3/4 cups of cake flour. Next, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of sugar, which as you can see here, won't all fit in the sifter, so I'll just leave some of that aside and add it later. 3 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. And now we have to sift these dry ingredients together 3 times, which might seem a little tedious and time consuming at first, but it really is the secret to getting a soft, feathery cake. It's really easy to just sift it onto the parchment paper, then you can just lift up the whole thing and dump it right back into the sifter. Then you just sift it back onto the parchment paper. This is actually pretty easy. And by the way, if you need a printable version of this recipe, I have one up on my blog, and as always, I've linked it in the description under the video. Alright, now that I'm on the third and final sifting of the dry ingredients, I think I better add that remaining sugar that didn't fit in the sifter. And now I'm going to add 1/3 cup of shortening and 1/3 cup of butter. And of course these are at room temperature, but they're not so warm that they're melting at all. If you don't want to use shortening, then use all butter. If you don't want to use butter, then use all shortening. Now with an electric mixer, start beating these fats into the dry ingredients. This method of making a cake batter is known as reverse creaming, and it's going to give you the most velvety, tender texture. I love how easy and no fuss it is, and you usually only ever need one bowl to do it. If you're finding that there are chunks of butter or shortening that aren't breaking down, just stop the mixer and get in there with your fingers. Overall, you want your mixture to look evenly textured and somewhat sandy. This actually kind of looks like a cake mix. Next, I'm going to add 4 room temperature egg whites, and right here I have 1 cup of room temperature milk. I'm only going to add half of it for now. And it really is important that these are at room temperature, because freezing cold ingredients just don't incorporate very nicely. Otherwise, your cake batter is going to end up curdled, and it's not going to bake very evenly. Now, because we've only added half of the milk, this is going to look pretty stiff. And that's what you want, because a stiff batter in the beginning means no lumps. So let that electric mixer work a little hard for now, and be thankful someone invented them. Once your batter looks nice and smooth and evenly incorporated, now you can add the rest of that milk. Along with our final ingredient for this cake batter, vanilla extract. Quite a bit of it too, 3 teaspoons. But you do have to remember that this is a vanilla flavored cake, and this is our only source of flavor other than the butter. If you wanted to add any additional flavorings like almond extract or lemon, feel free to do so, because after all, this white cake is going to be your masterpiece. So now we just have to mix this until it's nice and smooth, which doesn't take long at all. Be sure to scrape around the sides of the bowl and get right down to the bottom too. But any more than 45 seconds, then you're probably going to be overmixing it. And just like that, your white cake batter is donezo. How easy was that? You know, it took me years to perfect my white cake because I didn't know the secrets I just shared with you. So now it's time to divide the batter evenly among those 2 pans, and if you want to get the same amount in each one, weigh them out to 600 grams. Of course, you want to get every little bit in there, and for nice even cake layers, smooth out those tops. Make them nice and level or they're not going to bake up evenly. And just for added measure, I like to bang the pans on the table a few times. That'll release any air bubbles that might cause big tunnels in your cake, but usually for reverse cream batters, that's not an issue. Alright, now into the oven these go. Oh, hey there. Thanks for the interruption. I promise I'll be quick. If you're still watching right now, then it must mean you're enjoying the video. So if that's the case, it would mean so much to me if you let me know by hitting that like button. And let me know in the comments if there's any recipes you want to see me make on the channel. I even invite you to send me your favorite recipes that your mom, grandma, or even great-grandma made, and I might make them on the show. Please know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you that watches my videos, and I can't wait to keep making many more for you. Alright, now back to that cake. So your cakes are going to take anywhere from 32 to 35 minutes to bake, but I would start checking them at 30 minutes. You'll know they're ready when you press on it lightly and it springs back, and of course if you stick a toothpick in it and it comes out clean, that's another sure way to know they're done. Whatever you do, please do not overbake these. White cakes are especially sensitive to overbaking, and it's almost better to slightly underbake them, if anything. Let them cool in the pans for about 10 minutes before taking them out, and the best way to do that is to run a knife around the edges. You might need to bang the edge of the pan a little bit to scare them out, but if you line the bottoms with parchment paper, then they should have no trouble releasing. Of course, don't forget to take that parchment paper off, and you can see here that these cakes are ever so slightly underbaked, if anything. These took exactly 32 minutes, and they are absolutely perfect. And now we just have to let these cool completely before frosting. And for that, I usually just like to use a good old-fashioned American-style vanilla buttercream. Even though I live in Canada, but I don't think we have a Canadian buttercream here. So for my American buttercream, I start with a cup of butter and a pinch of salt, and into that I beat in about 3 to 4 cups of icing sugar. It all depends on how sweet and thick you want your frosting to be, but the real secret to a good American buttercream is to beat it for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I like to add a tablespoon of boiling water. I know a lot of people like to add milk or cream instead, but I just think that the boiling water makes it extra light and fluffy. Then I add a teaspoon of vanilla, and for an extra special bakery-style flavor, half a teaspoon of almond extract. I've been making my American buttercream like this for so many years, and whenever I take this cake to a party or any type of gathering, people really think that I got it from a bakery. I mean, just look how incredibly soft and fluffy this buttercream is. And now comes the fun part, filling and frosting your cake. I always like to put a little dollop of frosting on the plate, that way the cake doesn't slip and slide around. Now one little tip I'm going to offer you here, be very generous with the amount of frosting you put in the middle layer. Put a little bit more than 1/3. You're going to have a lot of frosting for this cake, so don't worry about running out. Spread that frosting right out to the edges, and I usually like to put the upper layer bottom side up, because that's going to give me the flattest top. And now the professional way to do this is to just dump the rest of that buttercream on top, spread it out to the edges, and let it run down the sides. Once you cover the entire cake, that's when you can have all your fun doing those artistic swirls, just like you see in those retro Betty Crocker commercials. And once you're satisfied with how it looks, make sure you do a little happy dance, because you just made yourself a perfect white cake. Those box cake mixes from the stores are full of nasty chemicals, but not this cake. With just a few wholesome ingredients and some tried and true techniques, you saw how easy it is to make one yourself. So go whip one up for your next birthday, picnic, or just because. Or you might want to try one of these other amazing cakes.